Yeah, I had been listening to Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast, where Jay interviews all these people and they talk about their lives and what success means to them, basically finding their purpose in the world and how they went about that and how they feel fulfillment through that. And I thought that's amazing. But at the same time, I am never going to be a Taylor Swift. I am never going to be a LeBron James. So that's when I thought, how can I take Jay's idea and how can I take my values and kind of combine them? And I thought, you know what, why don't we just interview neighbors? And I think a lot of people lose that message. Success isn't measured just by the money in the bank. It's measured by your sense of fulfillment.
Or cut the grass, let's do it on another day or something. I don't really want to look at the screen no more. Let's go to outer space or something. I'm too old to try to catch a fade. I'm too old to skip leg day. Too big to make headway. Change the subject, no segue. There's a rice made out of lettuce. Government is always out to get us. I go hard to the last.
My boy, thank you for finally making this happen.
Thank you.
It was like so big, like they knew we were already here. No, I just wanted something to start, like to be like an official marker for where this starts. Something visual. If we have enough time, I might even do something else that's just like no audio, just us like standing, staring off at this nice little horizon that we have here. Man.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Meet the Neighbors podcast finally happening.
Finally happening. We had, 3 years?
Something
of development? Grinding?
Something crazy like that, for real.
I think the real crazy part is we have nothing to talk about.
No, there's always something to talk about. Well, I mean, we never officially made a list of different topics, but
right.
I think that's because the premise of it is fluent in a way, because you're going to be talking to different people who all have different stories. The same questions could work for everybody, but I think just letting it happen organically, having a loose outline and then just letting it flow, which is what we're doing today.
Right. Yeah.
We're out here in Mike's backyard, which
I'm Mike.
Yeah, this is Mike, the guy that's been behind this whole idea. He came to me ages ago because we talked before about doing something like this, and then I guess neither one of us actually did anything to make it happen. But we were spinning the wheels in the background the whole time too, because having families, having kids, it does take away a lot of your time. Not in a bad way, but you just have to be intentional
2 kids in that time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
both of us.
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
It's not like we just had one kid and was just pondering.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, I can't keep up with this guy.
It was a pregnancy and a kid, and then a pregnancy and another kid for the both of us.
Yeah. So first of all, I guess my question for you is not even a question. Give the audience a little bit of a background about yourself, where you're from. You don't have to go super in depth unless you want to. We have time. I have plenty of batteries, so we don't have plenty of sunlight, so we're gonna just work with the available light that we have. But yeah, where are you from? I already know the answer, but they don't. So.
You know this. I was born a poor black child.
Oh my.
Movie references.
Oh my God.
No, my family is originally from Guyana, which is a small country in South America. When we lived there, there was less than 1 million people in the entire country. But it's come up in recent times. I lived in New York for most of my life so far, up until I was 19, and then my parents' job got outsourced to South Carolina. I like to tell people, sometimes the Indians come instead of the jobs going to the Indians.
Yeah.
And then I've been in South Carolina for 15 years now. So it's almost half and half between New York and South Carolina. I work in finance, and like you said earlier, I have a wife and 2 kids and a backyard.
He's in the backyard. Well, I guess I can do the same for people that don't know.
Yeah.
I was born, as far as my parents tell me, I was born here in South Carolina. Somebody asked me that.
He was hatched.
They were like, where were you born? And they had just been talking about specific locations, hospitals and stuff. So I thought that's what they wanted to know. And I was like, Greenville Memorial, where else would you be born here? And it was pretty funny. But anyway, born and raised in South Carolina, lived in Anderson and Travelers Rest and Greenville. Well, I guess we lived in Greenville at an early age, but most of my life it was Belton and Travelers Rest, and we were making that 50-minute commute all the way to school and whatever else we had to do on the opposite end of town. It wasn't a good time. My mom worked at DSS doing case work. She was a social worker working with foster kids and different stuff like that. And then my dad was the reason that I became, an entrepreneur, I guess, of sorts, because he just always was looking for opportunities to work for himself. Like, I don't even remember a time when he had a regular, like where he was employed by somebody else outside of him being a contract worker for whoever. And I guess that rubbed off on me because every time I had a traditional 9 to 5, I don't know, I didn't feel like I belonged there. And I think it caused a lot of issues with my employers because they were like, who does this guy think he is? Gonna come in here and tell me what he is and isn't gonna do. And I'm like, I'm a person before I'm an employee. So yeah, if there's something I don't want to do, I'm just gonna let you know. And like, we just have to make it work like that. I do. Speaking of which, I remember a very specific instance at a job that we both worked, a restaurant, where I'm told, I don't remember this happening. And I'm not somebody that blacks out, but the manager was getting on to Mike, trying to say that he wasn't like pulling his weight and like he wasn't a hard worker. And apparently my response was, I will punch you in the face. Like that's just what I said instinctually. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize.
Didn't realize you cared that much.
I didn't realize I was, a gangster like that. No, I don't even think, like, obviously it was because it was you, but it was also just injustice. I didn't like the fact that he was trying to pretend like you weren't working hard. And I'm like, if anybody's working hard in here, it's the people that are supplying everybody with the ingredients that they need to make these orders. But yeah, I also have a wife and 2 kids, and allegedly in counting, but we'll see. My wife wants more.
Yeah, hopefully I'm done counting.
I only have 2 fingers. I can't. Is that a thing? Just like get rid of the rest of your fingers? I can't count any higher, so legally we can't.
I thought it was something interesting you said earlier about how people were asking where you were born, and you said Greenville Memorial, but your kids don't have that same story.
Yeah, I know. That is...
it's a different world now.
It is. And I think it's cool. Like,
for the record, his kids were home births, not like adopted or hatched.
Oh, hatched is freaking... Hatched is hilarious. Like, yeah, I actually have a tail. I didn't get to that part in this tale. No.
This is my oldest.
Yeah, so...
Sophia.
How you doing back there? You all right?
Can we pause for just 1 second? I just have to turn on the oven, so...
Oh, yeah, you're good. We'll be right back after these messages. Anyway, like I was saying, so how do you become this great? I know that's kind of where the conversation is already going before you even start the conversation. It's like, so I'm going to address that, get that out of the way, so there's no confusion about how you wake up like this. You just kind of roll out of bed, and it just follows you wherever you go. See, like greatness served to you on a platter. Wait, what was the question? Oh, this is good. Oh, thank you. This is brought to you by... Wait, this is Meet the Neighbors podcast. This is brought to you by the Founder Positioning System. Look it up on the website. I don't have to explain it every time. Thank you, though. Thank you. I love you guys.
You make me sick.
That's the Dinka, chef?
Yes. Yes, chef. Thank you, chef.
So, where were we?
We had just kind of... I did an extremely long introduction on
Yeah,
myself.
that's true. He's lived a longer life than I have.
Oh, my God. I mean, New York is like a sought-after place. Like, everybody wants to go there. And I was blessed with the opportunity to go there recently because it was just like, we had just got back from Mexico. I was, we spent too much money over there, truly. But I was just like, I haven't done any networking for like new client work, which being independent or freelance filmmaker and photographer, you have to do that kind of work. And it's not that it can never stop. If you do it correctly, you can just like have yourself booked throughout the year. But, I dropped the ball a little bit. So I got back and I was like, I need to figure out what kind of project I'm going to work on so that we can have some income coming in. And then I reached out to a client that I met through my journey to like become a documentary filmmaker. She had a ton of footage that she wanted to turn into a film and nobody wanted to edit it. And then I showed up and I was like, it's going to cost a lot, but I'll take this project on. And she ended up loving it. She actually, it was a weird moment. It was kind of funny. I wish I would have documented it truly, so it would have been a great visual for retelling the story. But we're watching the film, and we're in our office, and it's like this long room, like one of those long conference tables. So her desk is at the end of it, and we were like all towards the front where the screen is at.
I turned my head like the desk was gonna.
What? Yeah, right. Well, painting a picture here. So we get to the end of the film. And we're all like, the credits are rolling. We're like nervously turning around because we didn't have enough time to finish it how we wanted to. And then we turn around and she's just back there weeping. And I was like, is she crying because it's good or is she crying because it sucks? And then she's like, oh, I love it. And she like hugged me. And I was like, I wish somebody was filming this. This is like good content right here. But yeah, so all that to say, I reached out to her because I had accidentally ghosted her. You know the thing you do when you don't respond to a text for X amount of time, and then like a month passed and you're too embarrassed.
For all the 30-year-old plus out there.
Yeah. You're too embarrassed to text back at that point. I was like, I just reached out. I was like, I dropped the ball. Sorry. And then she was like, I'm so glad you called. I had another guy on the hook for this thing we're trying to do, but I really like your work, and I would rather if you came and helped us film this thing. And I was like, still, should I go? Like, because once you have a family, they become pretty reliant on you. And they're like, oh, you're traveling for work? Excuse me. No, you're not. No. But I ended up getting to go to New York for 3 days. And it's a cool city. I can't say that I would enjoy living there, especially in the New York that people think of, the Times Square, New York City, New York. And there's other parts to it. Most people don't know that. But it was a cool experience, and knowing that Mike is from there, when we go back, we're gonna try to get him to go too, because he can show us some things, since that's his old stomping grounds.
As if times haven't changed in 15 years.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be like, I've never been here.
And then change the name of the cities and everything.
All right, so the idea for Meet the Neighbors, was there like a moment? Because I remember you called me.
Yeah, I had been listening to Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast. It was phenomenal. He's not paying us for this.
No, he's not. And
it's a phenomenal podcast where Jay interviews all these people and they talk about their lives and what success means to them, basically finding their purpose in the world and how they went about that and how they feel fulfillment through that. And I thought that's amazing. But at the same time, I am never going to be a Taylor Swift. I am never going to be a LeBron James. So I know the overall message is just kind of finding your purpose and what makes you happy. But at the same point, for an everyman like myself, I thought that it was a little less poignant to hear these super rich celebrities talk about them finding their successes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll never achieve that level of success. I squandered all my soccer playing years and whatnot. So that's when I thought, I'm just driving around and I see people living in, nice homes, maybe not multi-million-dollar mansions, but they're still nice homes. Lawn is manicured, having family dinner on a Sunday or whatnot. To me, and the way I grew up and my core values, that measures success and having a good purpose in the world. So I thought, how can I take Jay's idea and how can I take my values and kind of combine them? And I thought, you know what, why don't we just interview neighbors, just people around the community who think that they have found their purpose in life that's a little more attainable. I remember a quote from Stephen A. Smith At least I believe it's Stephen A. Smith. It's like all these kids want to try to be LeBron James, but there's only one LeBron James. But if you work hard, you can always be the next Stephen A. Smith. And I think a lot of people lose that message, is that, you know, success isn't measured just by the money in the bank. It's measured by your sense of fulfillment. So maybe, yeah, I can't dunk a basketball, but I can read a teleprompter. I can give my own opinions on things. I could be well-read and well-versed and talk about topics daily. Or I could just simply provide for my family, find a career that I like, raise my children to be good people, encourage them to find their blisses in life. So that to me is success, and that's kind of why I wanted to start this podcast. Once I had the idea, I knew that there was only one person that I wanted to bring on, which is a good buddy, Bobby. I mean, he had kind of talked about doing something similar in the past, so I thought, now I'm motivated. I know he has the motivation. Let's go ahead and bring that together and let's start 3 years later.
Yeah. I like that. That's beautifully said. See, I knew you had it in you. I was like, when is Mike just gonna step into his purpose? No, no, that's awesome though, for real. Because I think too many people are focused on just the celebrities of the world, and they see that and think that if you don't achieve that sort of success or something on that caliber where everybody's eyes is on you, that you failed at life. And I've just heard too many stories of people that are successful in that way, like I wouldn't say the vain, because it is success, but it's just a different kind. And it's the vanity
is
is
that 1 in a million success.
Yeah.
You know,
the vanity is everybody wanting that too, but you hear them come back to what you were talking about, like core values, like, oh, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have done these things rather than sinking all of my time into building this career. Yeah, we made Apple, or we made Tesla, or we made, what's the other one, Amazon, or but at the end of the day, what kind of connections have you made, and like how many lives have you impacted in a meaningful way, not destroyed with technology? But truly, like, so I do think that idea has been really cool, and then it gives you opportunities to see like what kind of values people have, like as somebody that is a Christ follower and loves like all of the biblical stories and principles and tries to like incorporate that into my life. Just wondering how many people know anything about it, how many people are out here searching for something and don't even know what it is, or how many people are just completely hopeless. Because I actually made a YouTube video last night about I forget what I called it, but it was just trying to encourage people not to give up on themselves because of the comparison factor. Like you were just saying, like, oh, I'm not as athletic as LeBron, or who's somebody else that's athletic. One of those African
LeBron
guys.
is the only person.
LeBron's the only person.
That's it.
It's no matter what sport. Hey, that's kind of like LeBron. This is soccer. What do you mean? God. I was just trying to encourage people using my own story, which is the beautiful thing about this, is you being a regular person, which, you know, I know that this podcast could turn into something bigger than what it is now. And I don't know how we'll approach that if that time comes. But right now, we're just regular people. And even if that did happen, we're still the same people. Like,
Right.
we literally just have some cameras and a little bit of time on our hand to try to...
In a backyard.
Yeah, right? To try to build something cool that we've both been wanting to do. But giving them a point of relation being your own story. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize you went through that. Like the fact that it took me so long to get to a point where I wanted to actually put out content, where I didn't feel like, oh, I'm not as good as this other YouTuber that I've been watching, or, you know, I'm not as good as Christopher Nolan, who is one of my favorite directors of photography and just directors in general. Does he actually film stuff? I think he did. He filmed his first short film on his own, which was cool because all the people just like got together in their spare time, like what we're doing now. We're like, we're going to make a movie. And then all these years later, you know, he's making Inception and different things like this. And you're like, oh my God, that's incredible. But had he given up because he was comparing himself to somebody else, those movies may not even exist.
I think what this podcast kind of boils down to is stressing quality over quantity. What I mean by that is today it's so easy to get caught up in how many likes a photo gets or how many follows you have. And those are what I call, they're obviously quantity likes. It's just people who, for whatever reason, liked a certain post that you put out there. But at the end of the day, they're not anywhere near there for you. What we want to emphasize is the quality likes, the people who like you, your wife, your kids, your mom and dad, maybe your neighbor, a good friend. But the biggest quality like, it has to be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where finding that purpose comes in. How do you get to like yourself? Because once that happens, everything else will fall into place.
That's true. And I'm starting to see that happen just with all of the creative stuff that I do. Because I heard other people say, like, I think it might have been Tyler, the creator, that said something about just when you're marketing yourself, you have to think that what you're doing is dope. And you have to, like, show up and share it with people as if it's dope. And, like, hopefully it actually is. But otherwise, nobody's going to rock with it. Because, like you said, if you don't like yourself or believe in what you're doing, how can anybody else? Because they're going to be like, you don't even think this is tight. Like, this is trash. Like, look at that. See, we didn't need topics. It just flows. But I do know that we have to figure out just who our first official guest is going to be. And then we'll have to figure out a different setup. Because I imagine we would sit on the same side at that time, and then the guest would be over there. Or one of us could awkwardly, like, just be, like, massaging the guest show.
Just put the guest in between. So.
No, look at me. I'm talking to you right now. Don't listen to him. It's like the shoulder angel and the shoulder devil. No, you want to buy that car. It's a good investment.
Don't buy that car.
And get that Porsche. You can get all the hoes.
Porsche? Boy, you better get that Porsche.
He's like, oh, it's a Porsche. Yeah, I'm on his side.
Pick up and start walking.
Oh man, you just couldn't resist not having any screen time. Like, that's why you're just in the bottom of the frame. They still can't really see you. No.
Oh really?
I mean, they can see her in the wide angle. Oh wait, I guess before we go, if you don't mind, let's tell them about the soccer thing. Because from my perspective, or from what I was told from you, or what I remember, maybe I just like remembered it more grandiose than you even said it. But you were pretty serious as a soccer player, like to the point where you could have went pro.
Yeah. I was decent enough. And then senior year, high school, I busted up this knee. It still kind of gives me trouble. And I was just really young and immature. I never even really got it fully looked at. So it still gives me problems. But yeah, I was like really immature, got depressed, gained a bunch of weight, and then that was kind of that. It was just a good thing that my parents always instilled in me. If you want to do sports, you have to do school. So I did well in school, so I was able to parlay that into a different type of career that's given me a good amount of success in my life. It's given me everything that I have that keeps me comfortable and happy.
That's amazing. And again, those are the kind of stories that are just out there because the person that lives right next to you could have been in that scenario. There's plenty of people, like who was that one guy? Was it Greg Oden that like basically got to the league and got injured immediately and never really got to do anything in the league? Yeah. Like going, and we're talking NBA if you're wondering what the league is. I'm not a sports guy, but I know NBA a little bit.
Yeah, got drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers, and he had a promising career. It was him, Damian Lillard, and I think Brandon Roy was the other. No, Marcus Aldridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And both of them went on to have successful careers in the NBA. And they were speculating him to be like a serious player in the NBA. So like,
yeah, when the three of them were on the court healthy, they were actually doing really well.
Yeah.
Could have been a big three before big three was.
Before it became.
Fully a thing.
Before everybody started being like, oh, that's my friend. Let's get on his team.
But yeah, unfortunately.
Let's have the all-star team all year. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, it's entertainment before it's sports. To me, anyway. I feel like that's just where it's at right now. And You know, if I was in the league and I could play with Luka and LeBron on the same, I'd be like, look, let's do it. I don't care. And it's just a trip. Fans get mad 'cause they're like, oh, that's the only reason they won because they had all these people. And I'm like, well, maybe they just wanted to win. Maybe they were like, let's put together a super team so we can win. I don't know. That's just, like I said, I'm not a sports guy.
Isn't that how it works?
That's just, yeah, right. That's just my take on it.
Yeah. Like, do the Bulls win because they were the Bulls or because they had Michael Jordan? Like,
Exactly. And like, you know, I don't know how the trade system works, but if I were in the league at that time, I'd be like, I'm tired of guarding this dude. Like, let me just be on his team. I don't care if he's gonna score all the points. I'm just tired of getting beat down all the time. But yeah, no, that's cool. I don't have a sports story like that. I do think truly I could have gone further in sports. I don't know what it would have turned into, but if I had any kind of leadership or discipline to work out, like do the strength training, the stuff that matters. Like I was naturally athletic, but I didn't develop it. And if I would have been in the gym, I could have been like a pretty superb athlete, I believe. That's neither here nor there. I will say in your later years, because I know a lot of people, and I'm glad that you don't do this because it's like you were saying, you found something else to be passionate about because it's one, but like so many people will just live in the past on this one thing, on this like, it could have been this way, it should have been this way. I was supposed to do this, and they never really move on from that. Or, you know, the people that are still stuck in high school. Yeah, when I was in high school, I used to tear it up. And I'm like, what are you doing now though? Like, you're not doing anything to, or you know, they even like talk about the physique they had. And I'm like, but you're literally not doing anything to get that back. So like, stop talking about it. But I do think it's cool that you were able to find a new direction in life, because I know that had to be depressing. You get to this elite level, you were trying to be humble. I know you were serious with it, but
actually, that's another thing. You know, Bobby gives me a little too much credit. I was kind of a natural talent. I didn't really work out
yeah,
as much as I should have. Luckily, I was a natural talent at school too. So it's now in my later years that actually I'm having to learn how to work hard. Back then I never had to study. I was in the National Honor Society. You know, I didn't train beyond practices. I was captain of the soccer team. So, like I said, talent can only take you so far. Now I'm having to learn how to work hard, get over that mental block. Like, not everything is going to come easy anymore.
yeah. It is a part of being, you know, post 30, because I started back in the gym pretty seriously. I've even been you remember Jonathan Jackson, the athletic director? He's been like offering his time to like be my personal trainer, because I mean, I've done some video work for him just because I thought it would be cool, and I never asked for any compensation. So I guess he's like paying it back in a roundabout way. But it's been pretty crazy, like, because I remember when I first met him, I thought I was still like this super athlete from high school, and then I see him out here and he's like Usain Bolt or what. They was just like, to me it was like a regular person that's like secretly an Olympian. And I was like, I didn't know that people walked around looking like this. But yeah, I once you are past 30, it's just everything gets more difficult. And I think I remember hearing, I don't remember where I heard it, but it was like, you know, science allegedly, once you
Science.
oh yeah, right. Once you are past 30, it's hard for you to break old habits, whether good or bad. If you're trying to like just change something like time management, even, like I've always been not great with time management. And so in my adult life, especially not having a regular 9 to 5 anymore, you can't slack. You still have to show up to places on time. When you, like, for me, if I'm doing a shoot, if I'm filming something for somebody, or, you know, photographing something for somebody, you can't just show up whenever you want just because you work for yourself. So like, if you've had that mentality, or even like my sleep schedule has been really horrible ever since high school, and I've been having to try to break that in my adult life, where I don't stay up till 3:30 every morning, and like, you know, still struggle with that. But it's just one of those things that you have to work at for your health and well-being and all that stuff, because I know that sleep is super important. I've never really treated it like that, but I know that it is. So I'm trying to take those steps to do what I need to do to make sure my body is functioning as properly as possible. Especially having kids, you don't want to be all decrepit trying to play with your kids, and they're like, or when they're like, oh, come play with me, you're like, I can't really get on the floor like that, sorry. You gotta I never wanted that to be my story as a parent, which is why I started back working out too, because I was like, everybody popularized the dad bod, and it's fine, like I have one right now, but it's like a slim dad bod. I have a lot of, I don't even drink beer, but it looks like I do.
I have
sometimes.
2 dad bods.
I have 2 dad
Just in case I lose one.
But yeah, I was always like, let's just do something about it now instead of waiting until I'm on my 600-pound life, But anyway, it's neither here nor there. This has been really cool. The sun is setting. I wonder how these shots look. I have these ND filters on here. They probably got like mad dark. It might still look good. I didn't do auto ISO. But yeah, I don't want to keep you out here forever. I know we got to get in here and play 2K because that's really why I came here. I didn't really want to do this podcast.
You just happen to have the cameras in your car.
Yeah, right. I keep them on deck. Oh, man. What other hobbies do you have outside of video games?
Really just gotta hang out with my kids.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're 2 and 6 weeks, so they kind of take up all my time.
I feel that. I don't know. I feel that's another, just with the time management thing. I do so much stuff that it made me ineffective at everything because I was trying to put out music. I was trying to stay fresh on the instruments I know how to play. I was trying to not forget how to draw because, I haven't drawn anything in like over a year, maybe 2 years now. And then I'm trying to learn filmmaking and editing, and I thought about trying to learn VFX, and then I was like, you just gotta stop. And I was working on a novel that I never I finished it, but I never did anything with it. I got to like the proofreading phase, and I was like, well, I'm done with this for now. But again, it's just a time management thing. I had to start really structuring my time. So and it's still not solid, but it's getting there. Like most of the time, Mondays is when I'll just sit and work on music. And since I've been doing that, I've been able to put out music that I've been sitting on for literally a decade. Like I have an EP and an album. The album was from 2012, the first real studio I recorded in. And it's just been, I actually had to buy it for myself. It was so stupid because the guy I recorded with lost, his computer just crashed. And so we lost all the files, but he had it on Bandcamp. And instead of reaching out to him, because I didn't realize that, I guess I should have known he had access because it was his page. I was like, I guess I'm going to have to buy my album for $10 so I can put it on all the streaming platforms. But that's finally on streaming. And then the EP that I made with Matt McIntyre and a buddy of mine named Deshaun Suber, he called himself Life of Golden. Those songs were just sitting on the hard drive or in my old computer. And I was like, stop being a perfectionist and just put some stuff out. And I'm not I don't have millions of followers, but I went from having 2 or 3 monthly listeners to 19 or 20 now in a month's time, which isn't nothing. If you focus on the instant gratification like you talked about earlier, then I guess you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. I do this kind of stuff just because it's a part of who I am. So getting the opportunity to put that kind of stuff out, it's exciting to me. And then I'm even listening to my own music through a new lens now. I'm like, no, this doesn't suck. You just were trying to convince yourself that it did because you were afraid to let people hear it. So, the sky's the limit. All that to say, if you're somebody that is struggling with those kind of things, just let it go. Put it out there. We're either going to love it or hate it. So how do we want to end these things? Do we want to I don't even know where to look. Can we look at the wide one? This has been the first episode of, you have to look at that. There's too many cameras. I don't know. We'll look at the wide one. This has been the first episode of Meet the Neighbors podcast. I'm Bobby. This is Mike. And we're just regular guys out here trying to inspire people. So stay tuned.
My backyard.
Yeah, right. This is kind of like a great spot to film this, very truly. Stay tuned for whatever happens.
Started in warmer months.
Yeah, I know. We kind of messed up. Until next time.
I might be the best.
Thank you for being here.
This beat is dancing,
We did it.
got legs, y'all lied. God might have died, but he's not dead, And I'm sure that, this world is gonna put a cure in that. It's guaranteed that the tech blast is somebody ask where the children at. These days when they say a fact, always gotta ask where they hear it at. Media tell them how to act, then they turn around and they mirror that.